36 people have died in a road accident at Miga.
Injured were rushed to Chuka County Referral Hospital.
Exact number of people who were in the bus is yet to be
Bodies of the dead were moved to a mortuary in the same facility.
Police reported that the bus that was traveling from Kisumu to Nairobi suffered brakes failure. It then collided head-on with a truck that was heading to Eldoret.
Hello and welcome to ISUZU Garage Conversations. Today we are looking at road safety. We have just celebrated on the 20th of November the World Day for the Remembrance of Road Traffic Victims. So we have a panel that's looking at everybody from the government to the private sector to PSV drivers, and of course now somebody who is in charge of making sure that they advocate for the rights of every road user on the road right now. So I'm going to ask each and every one of my panelists to introduce themselves so that we can begin this exciting and amazing panel discussion that's going to set this off during this period of time. So I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself, starting from my right to...
My name is Edgar Mesha Kobota, the founder of Africa Mashariki Transport Awards.
Okay, thank you.
So I'm Anthony Musyoki. I am ISUZU East Africa's Corporate Services Manager. I'm also the company secretary, and I'm glad to be here today.
Thank you very much.
Yes, my name is Dr. Duncan Kibogong. I work with the National Transport and Safety Authority as the Deputy Director in charge of road safety programs. I'm happy and quite excited to be in your program, and we look forward to a beautiful conversation. Thank you.
So my name is Daniel Kilu. I'm the founder of Skate Road Safety. I'm happy to be here.
Well, my name is Bart Gidolo. I am a VSV driver, and I come from a company called Manu Merchants, normally concerned with the transport and trucks.
And I am Robert Kunga. I am going to be the moderator for today's session. So seeing as we are right here now, deep in the heart of ISUZU East Africa, as you can see me behind me, we're actually having service going on at the moment while we are doing this, because we wanted to make sure that we are setting this within the correct and proper context. We are here to make sure that the road safety is looked at from each and every perspective. So since we are here in ISUZU, I'm going to direct some questions towards our gracious host here. So yes, you can tell us a little more about ISUZU as a company and why you chose to host this conversation, this very important conversation around road safety.
So the reason why we chose this starts actually from our purpose statement. Our purpose statement states that we want to be a leader in transport solutions and customers for life and conduct a sustainable business. So by the virtue of us wanting to do a sustainable business and be a leader in the transport solution, we have to be in this space of road safety. And one of the things that for us is very keen, we start from our production plant, which is just on my left here. And every vehicle that comes out of that plant, we make sure that there's no defect to that vehicle. So it starts with the vehicle. Moving on, we also ensure that after the vehicle goes to the customer, we train them on the need to service your vehicle and to also use genuine parts as you're servicing your vehicle. It's very important. Sometimes cheap can become expensive as you're using non-genuine parts. On to another point is that we are introducing something called telematics on our vehicles. Basically, this is to check the condition of the vehicle, how your driver is driving, are they abusing the vehicle, are they over-revving, are they braking inconsistently, such things. So we're in that space. We have so many dealers around the country. We have 6 dealers with several branches each. And this is to ensure that all our vehicles around the country are well maintained, are well serviced. Our customers are not going with their vehicles not having a place to service. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it's important to note that the private sector does actually have quite a lot of a role in ensuring that there is road safety from very many various points of view. I mean, looking at the statistics from the NTSA, just in this year alone, in 2022, between January, 1st January, and I think the end of September, we've actually lost close to 3,400 people on the roads. And not all of them are drivers. So actually, we are looking at around 1,200 pedestrians. And then we're actually able to break down into now motorcycle riders as distinct from bicycle users. So it's also important just to note that because of the breadth of the people on the road itself, it's not just drivers, you're also talking about pedestrians, you're also talking about, like you mentioned, motorcycle users and cyclists. That's why we're looking at having a wider spectrum. But now, just to focus in on some of these elements, like you mentioned, now there was the Ministry of Transport that came in, that's actively looking at what they can do. But we actually have with us now a representative from the NTSA. That's somebody who actually has safety within the name. So not only is it a pillar, as it is for ISUZU, but it is actually the National Transportation Safety Authority. So Dr. Kibogong,
yes.
If you could just take us through basically what is the role of the NTSA in general, and then now we can focus down on what it does specifically around that safety issue.
Yes, NTSA, and I think you know us very well and fairly well for a number of activities. But for the viewers, I would want to put it this way, that NTSA is a government agency, it's a lead agency on matters of road safety. We were established through an act of parliament in the year 2012. And the whole idea was to bring different stakeholders on one direction on matters of road safety. And when we talk about stakeholders here, we are not just talking about government stakeholders or government agencies, but virtually everyone. We always say in the road safety space that road safety is everyone's responsibility. Virtually everybody in this Kenya or in this world has played a role on matters of road safety. So in this case, NTSA, as I said, was established through an act of parliament. We are currently in the, we are our parent ministry is Ministry of Roads and Transport, and some of the roles we do, our functions which we've been stated upon by the NTSA Act is one, is that we register all motor vehicles in the Republic of Kenya. Registration means that we keep an inventory of all the vehicles in the country, giving them the registration plates, which are identity of those particular vehicles, among its other identity features therein. The second part is that we do motor vehicle inspection, and Antonia mentioned about matters ensuring that the vehicle is in a safer mode. So for us, the statute gives us power to check a vehicle, especially currently we are doing inspection for PSV vehicles and heavy commercial vehicles to ensure that they are in a safer mode at all times. And then third is matters touching on road safety, including advising the ministry on matters touching on road transport and road safety. And we do public education to the members of the public. We oversee the whole aspect to do driver training, testing and licensing in terms of issuance of the same, the driver, the issue to be curriculum. First is that we ensure that we have a curriculum which is standardized across board, and to ensure that we regulate the whole space around driving schools so that we have better instructors, we have better driving schools with better instructors, and subsequently ensure that when we do driver testing, they come out very clearly. Okay, so it's effectively like an apex body to make sure that everybody is flying in the right direction. Yes, yes. Whether they happen to be in private sector, public sector, and the like. It's actually interesting to note that you're actually doing a lot of training of trainers, which is something I found very interesting, especially around the curriculum. Does that plug in, for instance, into the driver training that companies such as ISUZU are doing? Would NTSA have some input into that curriculum?
A few years ago, I think 2019, we started Drivers Academy. And one of the things that we're doing in the Drivers Academy is that we usually train drivers for our fleet customers. And we took it a notch higher, and basically saying that we needed the market to be trained because we realized there's a gap in good drivers. So every year we take a few drivers, we train them for free, and basically they don't have to pay anything. The requirements are very low. You just have to have a D-plane and a driver's license. One of the challenges we're finding is that a lot of the people who are coming with fake driver's licenses. So that's a challenge that we are having, and probably that's where NTSA can fall in. From a corporate social responsibility angle, road safety is our key pillar. Actually, our board mentioned that they want road safety to be a key pillar, not because the other pillars we have, that is environment and education, are less important, but because there is less focus on road safety by a lot of corporates. So what they wanted to do is that road safety to be our anchor pillar and to put more focus on road safety, because again, also it complements our business. That is where we are, that is the space we're in. So basically, we're doing road safety as our key pillar. And we've done a lot of work. We've done work with the NTSA, where we bought a few years ago speed cameras for NTSA to ensure that people are not speeding on the roads. We've worked with ZUSHA, whereby this was a program whereby people, or rather passengers on vehicles, were being told to speak out whenever the drivers are not complying to regulations, they're overspeeding and such. We've been involved in a program in Naivasha called Nurse in Hand. This is an emergency response program. And basically what Nurse in Hand does is they have paramedics on motorcycles, and they basically move to a crash scene very fast. Because one of the issues about crashes, when you have a crash or an accident, is that the way people are handled, sometimes that causes a death. And they wanted to ensure that they are the first people on the scene. And having a motorcycle and a paramedic first on the scene makes sure that you are able to save a life. So we're working with them in Naivasha. We've set up a unit there with them. We're buying them motorcycles. And it's a pilot program, and we're looking at doing this over the next few years. This year we were involved with the Africa Mashariki Transport Awards, which was a very big thing done by the Ministry of Transport with the NTSA, and a few young men who had passion, and basically rewarding good behavior and encouraging and influencing young drivers from PSV specifically to conduct themselves well. Even boda bodas, two boda boda riders, one a male and a female. It was a very exciting kind of activity. They're doing something called Take 5. I think Edgar is here and he's going to talk a bit about Take 5. Yeah, so that's the space we are in, and that's why we are having this discussion.
People have died in a road accident at Miga.
Injured were rushed to Chuka County Referral Hospital.
Exact number of people who were in the bus is yet to be
Bodies of the dead were moved to a mortuary in the same facility.
Police reported that the bus that was traveling from Kisumu to Nairobi suffered brakes failure. It then collided head-on with a truck that was heading to Eldoret.